Great. Okay, so year in review. This is kind of a retrospective. I just want to highlight some of the things which we've done a lot over the year, and this is just kind of to summarize. And so, early this year, we brought out our 4th generation of MDR. A lot of this was seamless to you all, but the benefits have been seen with really those kind of detection capabilities. We built this new component called the Action Engine, which is our ability to take high volume of data, make sense of it, contextualize it with other data sources. So bringing together all these other disparate data sources, make sense of it, and then our SOC team are able to react and respond. And we've talked about the triaging, and then obviously we've got reporting in there as well. Great. And then so from a response perspective, we've actually brought this forward quite a lot, and this has all been seamless to you all, but it's really, and what we've done, we've really improved our ability to surgically respond to threats. So as you know, we've had capabilities to detain assets off the network, and it's kind of the nuke option to remove them off the network. You were able to kill processes in the environment. But what we've also added is more of a very novel approach to kind of isolating that machine to only talk to us, so we can continue to carry on our investigations while all other communications from that box are isolated. So, that's been one component. I think we've simplified the one of the things which we've done is simplifying some of what's called the contact profile. So, we started off with a more a la carte way to deal with, hey, if there's a response, look, how does the customer want us to respond? Do you want us to do it in these assets differently to these assets? But over our research, and years of learning, we found that to provide the best kind of experience and the best security for you all, we've simplified that with our standard response profile. So that's been a great move for us. Our customers have received that very well, and it's just, again, it's kind of increased our ability to protect you all. We continue to be 100% transparent with the actual SOC platform. So, this slide here around the Snap Defense, I think most of you would have seen this. And so you can go in there and play there and see what our SOC sees. And that's one of the beauties of this solution, is that we don't hide anything from you. We show you all the data. Obviously, we take all the heavy lifting off making sense of that data and responding. That's our job. That's what you're paying us to do. But should you want to take a look, that's all there, and we'll continue to do that as our strategy. All right, Log Explorer. So the fancy slide. So what we've done recently is, and actually there's a bullet point missing here. I haven't had time to update that because we only released this last week. And so we've done a lot on Logic. So Logic got released, I think this is the first week I started. It was like, hey, welcome on board, Paul. You got a new product to manage. So it's like, great. So Logic got released in June, and we've seen some great traction with that. We've been adding to this a lot on the kind of usability, the visibility as well around usage. And one of the biggest additions which we've had is around the Log Explorer. And so, obviously leveraging Logic, it's great. You send all your syslog, your FIM, your Windows events data comes in, but now there's ability, and we're in the beta of this, but we've got quite a few customers actually leveraging this, where you can actually see the data live coming in, streaming in. So, if you do want to see if it's working, and even run a few queries yourself, there's a capability there, which is a fantastic addition. Next piece is around some of the compliance reports. Obviously, as part of that release, the initial release in June, we've been tuning this a lot more, again, from a usability standpoint, to make this easier to follow, adding more visual cues to the surveys to show you what needs revisiting, where you're compliant. Again, just trying to make this as easy as possible. We realize that we're not going to fully tick all the boxes of compliance, so we kind of put that into your hands. But during that process, we try to make it as easy as possible for you to follow, like CMMC, HIPAA, PCI, to kind of go through that process and then export the data. And then again, it's just tuning the experience since launch. And then the last one is really around integration. So we've we've added quite a few recently. So we've added, I think the last two were Malwarebytes and Silence. So they were in the last couple of months. And so we've got Sentinel-1, Bitdefender also added this year. Obviously, we've got a whole host more. We've got obviously the Meraki from a network perspective, and the roadmap to add more is, and I'm going to talk about roadmap. It is kind of full of others, and we kind of deal with this from a priority perspective of how we want to tackle the next ones. But we tend to kind of partner with the top brands which we see in our base, and so that's again how we prioritize it. But a very important part of our portfolio. We obviously the whole technology stack we have is all proprietary. We built it from the ground up, but we do leverage third parties to augment that view for the SOC and for you as a customer, as I mentioned, around that contextualization around the action engine, pulling in data from a Sentinel-1 or Malwarebytes Silence. That's very helpful for you to join the dots to say, all right, well, there's this event which happened on this box, and Silence said it was malware, and again, giving you that context. So as you're looking at their portals, it's easier for you to again join the dots. Question, Jamie?
Oh, no question. I was just thinking of an example of that. The other day, I was working with a customer. We were doing a review of their network, and we saw that their antivirus was alerting on something, and it marked it as quarantined, right? So it looked like it was all done. Well, you follow up the process tree a couple of jumps, and we discovered there was actually a persistence mechanism that had downloaded something else in addition to what the antivirus had caught. So the initial breadcrumb for us was the antivirus alerting that something was quarantined. Had you just been looking at that yourself, you might say, "Oh, good, done, caught it. We're great." But the process was actually pulling down other stuff that did not get caught, and it continued a little further until we were able to, spot and stop it. And so having these integrations is awesome because we see the visibility into what these other security tools are seeing, but then we don't just leave it there and say, "Oh, okay, all done," right? We follow it up to where the source was, and we make sure that the whole situation is mitigated. So yeah, that story came to mind, Paul, while you were going through this slide, as I actually just got to see it work in action. So it was great.
Brilliant. Great stuff.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah.